Okie dokie, whatever part this is. If you've been following, new rebuilt iTech, this thing is all together. We've got a new fuel pressure regulator on there. I got the chrome one. Got some new fuel hoses ready to go. Wiring is all done. Thermostat's in, fuel rails in. I've been using a bunch of these pink dress-up bolts absolutely everywhere because I just like the look of them. And, well, cylinder head is home. All the porting's been done on the head. Yeah, it looks pretty crummy on camera, but it's, these ports are like glassy smooth now. Now, there is one change I do want to make, and that is to these bottom ports here, because the way they do this from factory is it's studs on the top, but then it's bolts on the bottom, and I don't really like that. The bolts, you cannot get them all that tight. Now, it's these top bolts that, I guess, take all the load, but I'm just going to go studs the whole way, so I went and bought studs, and I'm going to stud it. The reason that I want to go to studs is, see, these threads are not very deep, so you need a very specific length bolt, or a big stack of washers. So what ends up happening is if you don't have the exact right bolts, you'll go to bolt these in, and they'll bottom out before they tighten down on the manifold. It's just it's a pain, so studs it is. And here we have it, our ARP kit. This one was purchased from this company right here. So if you guys are doing up a 4Z1, this is who to check out. We've got our studs, bolts, our washers. He even includes the actual lube, and the best part, the actual torque sequence and the torque values. Well, that was a bit of a mission, but we've got the deck cleaned up. Got the new head gasket installed. For those who aren't quite aware, see, with these Isuzus, you actually have to modify the head gasket by drilling out these ports right here for the coolant. It's a stupid emissions thing to make the engine essentially run a bit hotter. It's completely stupid, but this is like with every single head gasket. For these things, you have to drill these coolant passages out, otherwise you're just going to overheat it over and over again. So, we've done that. We're going to plonk the head on, put our studs in, and torque them down. Man, that thing is a bear to lift. But I'm really glad to see that back where it belongs, finally. Oh, those headers look terrible. But, all things considered, she's back together. So I'm going to go get my ARP studs, dunk, 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 dunk. And, well, maybe even tomorrow, this thing might fire. We'll run the installing process, and you don't want to torque these studs themselves, but literally just hand tight. That's all you need to do. You don't need to run these things down tight. Although, then again, if you guys are buying a kit, read the instructions, because what's right for my kit may not necessarily be the same for other kits out there, but my kit just says to go hand tight, and that's it. Now, the question. Why are you going with studs when head bolts are perfectly fine for an NA setup? That's because head bolts are perfectly fine for an NA setup. There's a reason I didn't clean those. They're not going to last long. See, the thing is with these early ZEs is this, even though it has a computer, these things they're analog. So tuning is, it's just as much digital as it is mechanical to tune something like this, just because of the era. Like, the intelligent thing to do would be to rip the entire wiring harness out and run this on a Haltech, but not enough of you are subscribed, so that ad revenue doesn't allow for it to happen. God, that fuel rail looks so cool in there. I did the fuel lines here in pink as well, and obviously the pink bits there, and then the valley cover, which is going to be in the same silver with pink. It's so cool. That's ugly. I did this side, I painted it and made it look pretty. I might do that to that side, and I might even do the firewall. We'll see. Here we go. We got the washers, the nuts. Now, you put the lube, I'll just for you guys, this will be pretty much true for every ARP kit. If you're using studs with the nuts, you'll get a special type of washer that actually has a kind of a radius on the inside on one side and it's flat on the other. So it goes radius side upwards, not on top like that. Just for anyone who doesn't know that. Now you sort of need to do two things. You need to refer to your factory torque sequence and your torque settings, and then you apply the ARP setup. So for me it's 22 foot-pounds to 51 foot-pounds, and then it finishes off at 72 foot-pounds. That's the factory torque settings, or 97 newton meters for weird people. But from that 72, I'm then going to do a final setting on this, which is 90 foot-pounds right there. So I'll do it in 4 stages, but yeah, basically just follow that and then you add the extra that ARP wants you to add. On these eddies, it's you're working from the middle and you're essentially working in a spiral outwards. Pretty simple. Alrighty, and we're done. But anyway, that is going to do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stick around because this project is going to continue on. Oh man, I'm out of breath. This has been an absolute bear. I had to take this head off like 4 different times because the studs weren't running down easily, so I had to keep cleaning those threads. That's one of the things too, if you guys switch over to ARP studs, is the threads that those studs go into, they have to be like surgically clean. The best method really is just get in there with like a really strong cleaner and an air nozzle on your compressor and just, or even if you don't have a compressor, those like WD-40 cans of compressed air will even work. But man, that looks bitchin', and then it's just surrounded by junk. So a few jobs I got to do tomorrow. I've got to put the timing belt on, obviously start getting the front of the engine put back together, put the radiator and all that stuff in, start putting the accessory drive on, and getting this thing ready to turn. I have timed the engine, so where this is where it needs to be. For anyone wondering, that keyway needs to line up with that bolt. So actually not that bolt. Just above that bolt is like a little, I don't know what you call it. It's like a little line just above that bolt. That keyway needs to line up with it. And then this has a little arrow there that you need to line up with that arrow. Alright guys, well, thank you all again for watching. Thank you ARP for actually making this stuff, and also, I gotta say it, Turbo Gemini. Thank you for supplying the parts. You're an absolute legend. Good stuff. And just for clarification, this is a Holden Gemini stud kit. So it's not specifically for a Z series engine, but it works in a Z series engine. So for anyone who is wanting to do this, especially a lot of you guys over in the States, I know a lot of people in the US do these engines up, look up stuff for the Holden Gemini, and you'll be sweet. Oh yeah, that's right, I gotta put these dirty extractors back in, at least for the time being until the turbo arrives. Nah, fuck it, just run open headers.